Students, in the past few sessions, we were learning about electrostatic force and applications based on electrostatic force. And in this particular session, we will be learning about electric field. Now, when we are dealing with a charged particle, say for example, you have a positive charge. You have a positive charge, and this positive charge is placed nearby a negative charge. Positive and negative charge both are separated by certain distance, and the separation between them, it is finite. I am considering it as R. R is the separation between these two. Of course, we have electrostatic force acting between these two charges, and the magnitude of electrostatic force is minus, because one is positive charge and the other one is negative. Electrostatic force acting between two charges is attractive. Attractive force should be represented with negative sign, and that is minus K Q1 Q2 divided by R square. This is the magnitude of electrostatic force acting between two charges. And the direction of electrostatic force will be along the line joining between two charges. Along the line joining between these two charges. So I can simply denote it as F12 and this as F21. And I name this charge as Q1 and I name this charge as Q2. If one is positive, the other one will be negative. These things we have already learned. Now I will be taking another charge, say Q3, and that Q3 is placed over here. I am placing another charge Q3, which is separated by certain distance, say R dash. Q3 is another charge separated from charge Q1, which is at a distance R dash. Obviously, there will be a force of attraction or repulsion that depends upon the sign of that particular charge, right? So in between this Q1 and Q3, if suppose this is positive charge, there will be a repulsive force acting between two charges. Q3 will push Q1 in outward direction, that I denote it as F13, and Q3 is pushed outward by Q1, I name it as F31. So what I mean to tell in this particular example is, you are taking charge, this Q1 charge is the reference charge which I am taking initially. Q2, Q3, like that you can take any number of charges. I will be taking one more charge here, say Q4. I will be taking one more charge here, Q5. There will be interaction on Q4. There is interaction on Q5. I can place one more charge over here, say Q6. There will be interaction between Q1 and Q6. I can take one more charge here, say Q7. There will be interaction between Q1 and Q7, which is being placed at any certain distance from Q1. Now I want to represent the force of Q1 on these all charges, and I want to find out the region till where Q1 is able to attract or repel another charge. For example, from Q1 you are taking a charge, like I will be taking this as Q, which is at certain distance, say R1. There is interaction between these 2 points because R1 is finite. I will be taking Q charge over here, which is large distance. This I take it as R2. R2 is greater than R1. Very, very, very high, very large. If the separation between two charges is very large, then in such cases, the force magnitude, it is inversely proportional to R square. As R is very large, F value should be very less. The force of interaction between two charges get decreases. At some particular distance from Q1 charge, like it may be 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer or 100 kilometer or 1000 kilometer, definitely there will be some force of interaction up to certain distance only. Now, for example, as R2, I am considering it as much greater. On this charge Q, there will not be, if I consider that force of Q1 on Q, this is nearly becoming zero. That means as this distance R2 is much greater, R2 is much greater over here. Therefore, force acting between Q1 and Q tends to be zero because R2 considering as very large distance. Therefore, what I mean to tell in this example is, if you are dealing with a charge, say plus capital Q, you have a charge capital Q. For this particular charge, if you are considering one line, this can be very large distance apart. You can take a point charge over here. This is small q. I am denoting it as point charge. And this also, of course, point charge. There is interaction between these 2 point charges at certain distance, say R1. Likewise, you are bringing this particular small q charge outward. You are going away, going away, going away. Up to certain distance, there will be interaction of capital Q on this small q. Usually this is called as test charge, right? So using this test charge, what you will be doing is, you will be finding the region till where capital Q will extend its force. Till what particular region capital Q is able to extend its force, that you will be testing using this particular test charge. So now if I take this Q charge, say for example, this is capital Q and it is positive. If you are taking a positive test charge, if you are taking one positive test charge over here, say small q, and this is also positive, usually the test charges which you select, that is positive. Now there is a repulsive force acting over here, right? This is repulsive force. Same plus q charge, you can place it over here, small q, there is a repulsive force. Similarly, same plus q charge, I can place it over here. There is a repulsive force outward. So a positive charge is having a repulsive force on small q test charge. Suppose if I take another kind of charge, like for example, if I take negative charge over here, say this is minus q. Now I want to find out the region till where this minus q is able to attract a test charge. So what I do, I'll simply place a negative charge over here. Sorry, already it is negative charge. I will be taking a test charge which is plus q. The interaction between these two is attractive. Therefore, the force in between these two is attractive. So small q test charge will be pulled by negative charge minus q. I can take one more charge, same test charge I will be placing here. There is attractive force. I can take same q charge over here. There is attractive force. And I can take same q charge over here. There is attractive force. Anywhere you can place it in the region, in some particular region surrounded by this negative charge. there is an attractive force, and that attractive force is along the line joining between two charges, and that attractive force I will be representing it with this way. Attractive force between two charges. Test charge, like you can place it a charge over here, you can place it a charge over here, you can place it a charge over here, you can place a charge over here. All these arrow marks indicate that the given charge is negative and the test charge is dragged towards that negative charge. Similarly, I can take here, if it is positive charge, there is a repulsive force, and that repulsive force is outward, and this repulsive force is outward. Repulsive force is outward from this particular positive charge. So that repulsive force direction, I am representing it outward. That means when you are placing a test charge in the vicinity of this capital Q charge, that will be pushed outward in some particular direction, which is given by this line, right? Similarly, if you are placing a test charge over here Q, now in this vicinity of negative charge, if you are placing one test charge over here, that will be pulled towards this negative charge in particular line of action. Similarly, if you place a test charge over here plus Q, this will be pushed by this positive charge outward. Now, using this concept, I can now introduce force of lines. Whose force of lines? Electric force of lines. Now, there is an electric force acting between two charges, and that electric force of lines are represented with these particular lines given by positive and as well as negative charge. In case of positive charge, the electric force of lines are outward, whereas in case of negative charge, the electric force of lines are inward. Here it is inward because test charge is pulled towards the negative charge, and in this case it is outward because test charge is pushed outward by this positive charge. That is said to be as electric force of lines. Electric field lines also represented by the same way. It is nothing but if you are placing a test charge in the vicinity of any positive or negative charges, the direction in which that test charge move is given by electric field lines or electric force of lines. Students, in the previous slide, I have told you that if you are taking a positive charge, electric lines of force will be outward because when you are placing a test charge in that particular region, it will be pushed away. If you are taking positive charge over here, this is a positive charge placed in this region, so it will be pulled outward. So from a positive charge, electric lines of force, they will be outward. Similarly, if you are taking a negative charge, individual negative charge, this is a point negative charge, this is also point positive charge, point charge. The force of lines will be inward because test charge get attracted towards it. So this is radially inward, this is radially outward. Likewise, if I am taking a positive and negative charges separated by certain distance, I am taking a positive charge over here and another negative charge over here. Now positive charge and negative charge has attraction between these two. There is an attractive force. What does this positive charge do? It tries to pull negative charge. What does this negative charge do? It tries to pull positive charge. Individually, if you are taking positive charge, field lines should be outward. So you should represent it with outward arrow marks. Similarly, if you are taking a negative charge, field lines from that will be towards Therefore, you should represent them towards that particular negative charge when you are placing these two by some finite distance. If you are placing these two charges by finite distance, then in such case, the lines of force starts from positive charge and end at the negative charge. So if you are taking two charges at finite distance, what would happen? Field lines start from positive and end at negative. They start from positive charge and they end at negative charge. In all cases, if you are taking positive negative charges which is closed by which is separated by certain distance, in such case you should draw the force of lines in such a way they originate from positive charge and they enter towards the negative charge. Okay, that is what we have learnt in this example C. Now let us come to D. This is D. In C we have took a positive and negative charge, but here we have took both positive charges. Here it is a positive charge, here also it is a positive charge. Positive charge repel positive charge, therefore there is a repulsive force outward, and from this positive charge field lines should be outward. From this positive charge also field lines will be outward. Therefore, the field line at some particular point, say here, which is denoted with N, at this particular point, field lines coming from first charge, field lines coming from second charge, they get cancelled or they get nullified. They get nullified in the sense effect of the first charge and effect of the second charge both get cancelled at that particular point, and that point is represented with N. Usually N is called as null point. It is called as null point. Null point always exists between two like charges. If you are taking two positive charges, there will be a null point between them. If you are taking two negative charges, there will be a null point between them. If you are taking one positive and negative charge, there will not be any null point because field lines start from positive and they enter towards the negative. In this case, you cannot see null point in between. Null point cannot be seen. Here null point does not occur because one is positive and the other one is negative. As these are two positive charges, there is a null point, right? Now, one more important conclusion we can draw from here. This figure is clear, this figure is clear, this one is clear, this one is clear. Now, what I took in all these cases is, here you are taking plus Q charge, here you are taking minus Q charge, magnitudes are equal. Magnitudes of two charges are equal. Here you are taking positive, here you are taking positive. One is plus Q and the other one is plus Q. Magnitude of Q charge are equal. So both charges are equal. Therefore, lines coming from plus Q charge and lines coming from this plus Q charge both will be equal. Lines coming from this positive charge, how many lines come from this positive charge? Those lines should definitely end at the negative charge because both magnitudes are equal. Fine. Now come to this figure. I named this figure as E. Coming to this particular figure, here you have two positive charges and you could clearly see in this figure, this positive charge has less number of lines. How many? You can count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Only 6 number of lines we have. Coming to this another positive charge, I can see more number of lines, right? You can count them. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Field lines for this is 18 in number. Field lines thus for this is only 6 in number. So in this particular example, it is very much clear that the magnitude of the charge, magnitude of both the charges. Here, let me take it as Q1. Let me take it as Q2. Magnitude of these two charges are not equal, which is represented by the force of lines. Greater magnitude of charges have greater number of lines. Less magnitude of charge will have less number of lines. So here I can write magnitude of Q1 is less than magnitude of Q2. Magnitude of Q1 is less than magnitude of Q2 because clearly it is that 6 is less than 18, right? Therefore, magnitude of Q1 is less than Q2. And remember, both are positive charge. Therefore, you will have null point at some position. Usually that null point will be closer to the less magnitude charge. Here is the point where you have null point. This is null point here. And that is closer to the charge whose magnitude is less. Right? Figure E is clear now. Coming to figure F. In figure F also, we have two charges, both are negative, and I name this as minus Q1, I name this as minus Q2. From this, clearly, magnitude of Q1 is less than magnitude of Q2. Here you need not count it. You can see it by your naked eye, where field lines density is greater. Q2 has field lines greater density than that of Q1. Therefore, simply I can write magnitude of Q2 is greater than magnitude of Q1. Therefore, important point here to learn is the lines of force represented is depending upon the magnitude of that particular charge. Greater magnitude of charges have greater field lines. Less magnitude of charges has less number of field lines. That is in figure F and E we have learned. Coming to next example, say this is G. In this figure, you have one positive charge and the other one is negative charge, right? And one is positive, negative, you are able to see that clearly, and the number of lines coming from positive and number of lines coming from negative both are not equal, right? Therefore, clearly you can write magnitude of Q1, say this is Q1 and this is Q2. Forget about the signs over here because I am taking magnitude. Magnitude of Q1 is not equal to magnitude of Q2. You can count it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Of course, these 12 lines will be there here and even still more, nearly it can be 20 or 25 like that. Therefore, magnitude of the negative charge Q2 is greater than magnitude of Q1 charge. And if it is magnitudes different and it is positive and negative charge, see, you could not identify any null point between them. There is no null point between positive and negative charges, right? In between this positive and negative, there is no null point. You could clearly observe in figure G. Coming to next figure, here it is H. This is positive and I name it as Q1, and here it is negative, I name it as Q2. From this figure it is clear magnitude of Q1 is not equal to magnitude of Q2, and whose magnitude is greater? Obviously more density of lines is for Q1. Therefore, Q1 magnitude is greater than Q2 magnitude. How many number of lines are coming from this positive? Depending upon the magnitude, they will be closed by this negative charge. Of course, as Q1 magnitude is greater, these are extended outward like this. These could not be closed. Only few number of lines will be closed because of negative. Say for example, Q1, I'll give you one simple example. Understand the concept clearly. Concept, if you are clear, then you can solve problems very easily. Say for example, this is minus 10 coulomb and this is minus 20 coulomb. Sorry, plus 20 coulomb. Minus 10 coulomb represent the 10 lines. Minus 20 coulomb represent 20 lines. Now, 10 lines coming from this positive charge will be ended over this negative charge, right? So those 10 lines will be ended at this negative charge and remaining, these all are 10 lines. These lines are not closed by negative. They are extended outward, but they are not ending. They do not have any ending point because here 20 lines are originated from this positive charge. Clear? So that is how you can draw field lines from positive and negative charges depending on their magnitude. Like charges have null point between them. Unlike charges have no null point between them. If there are unlike charges, minimum there should be 3 charges to get a null point. For example, I'll show you here. Say this is positive, right? And this is negative, right? Positive and negative, there will not be any null point in between them. Say for example, here there is one more positive charge, right? This is positive. Now considering these 3 system, these 3 are one system. So therefore, what would happen? Between this positive and between this positive, there will be a null point existing. And that null point can be located somewhere nearly closer to this negative charge, right? So that is how, if there are 3 charges, out of which any 2 are unlike, you can get, there is a chance of getting null point in between those charges. Students, in the first point, we have learned that charges originate on positive and they terminate at negative. Coming to the second point, they always leave or enter a conducting surface at right angles to it. This is what I have shown it in the figure. You have positive charge. Perpendicular to this surface, field lines will be drawn like this. Similarly, if you take a sphere and this is negative, arrow mark should be inward. And here is perpendicular field line. Here is perpendicular field line. Here is perpendicular field line. Similarly, you can take any, like you can take a plate. This is a plate which is positive charge. For this positive charge, you can draw field lines which are perpendicular and that will be outward, which is perpendicular. And arrow mark should be outward because it is positive charge. That is second point. Coming to the third one. Field lines never cross or touch each other. This is very important point. In all those figures which I have shown it in the previous slide and in this slide which I have drawn, I did not show you that 2 field lines are crossing each other. Now these field lines, what actually they do? Electric lines of force, right? Force is a vector. What are these lines doing? They are showing direction, right? These field lines are showing the direction in which a test charge move when you are placing it nearby a positive and negative charge. So if there is 2 field lines crossing over like this, say this is one field line of positive charge and there is another field line coming here at this particular point. Now at this point, this line 1 represent the direction is in this way. This is direction. That means if you are taking a test charge and if you place that test charge over here, in which direction it is supposed to move? In the direction of this red ink. Similarly, same test charge, if I place it at the same point, and this blue line, this violet line is representing that it should move in this direction. Right? So at this point, what do we have? Two directions. Can a test charge move simultaneously in two directions? No. A test charge cannot move simultaneously in two directions. Therefore, no field lines will cross each other. They will never cross or they will never touch each other. Practically, it is not at all possible. How much dense the field lines may be, no field lines will cross each other. Right? Very, very important conclusion. Now coming to next point, number 4. Lines of force which have same direction repel each other and having opposite direction attract each other. This is already learnt in the previous slide. These are the properties of electric force of lines. Now let us learn what is meant by electric field and how you can define it. Let me take a positive charge capital Q over here. Here is positive charge, that is capital Q. And you are taking 3 different test charges. Say I am placing one test charge at position A and that is positive. Definitely there is force FA outward. You are taking another test charge which is placed at B and here also it will be tending outward. And at this point C, it is tending outward. All these points represent the direction of positive test charge placed within the vicinity of capital Q charge. Now this force is experienced by a test charge, right? Right? And this test charge is represented with small q. Now till where this test charge is able to experience a force, say for example, this is 1 meter and this is 2 meter. Say this is 1 kilometer. Depending on the magnitude of capital Q and the test charge, up to 1 kilometer it can have a force of interaction. Say you are going a distance of 100 kilometer. Will there be any force? No force. Because this distance is very large, F is inversely proportional to square of separation between them. Therefore, at 100 kilometer from this plus Q charge, there will not be any force experienced by the test charge. As a result, here in the radius of 1 kilometer, in the radius of 1 meter, there is a force line. You can represent it. In the range of 2 meter, you can experience that. In the range of 1 kilometer, you can experience that. But in the range of 100 kilometer, we cannot experience force of capital Q charge. So we cannot experience any force of capital Q charge at a range of 100 kilometer. Like up to 1 kilometer, there is a range. After 1 kilometer, there is no force experienced by the test charge. So what is the range of this plus Q charge? Only up to 1 kilometer. Why it is only up to 1 kilometer? Say this plus Q charge have only range. Like say for example, if this plus Q charge has 10 coulomb. 10 coulomb range is up to 1 kilometer. I am just giving you an example. So 10 coulomb range is up to 1 kilometer. So it will be experiencing, a test charge can experience force. For example, if you are increasing this to 20, then what happened to this? It become 2 kilometer. Suppose if you are considering this as 30 coulomb, what happened to that? It will be 3 kilometer. Therefore, the range of vicinity of test charge experiencing the force depends upon the magnitude of this capital Q charge. So this electric force, is it depending upon capital Q or small q? it is depending on capital Q rather than small q test charge. As it is test charge, its magnitude of this test charge is nearly equal to 0. It's not exactly 0, but nearly equal to 0. Therefore, here the force experienced by whom? This test charge in the vicinity of capital Q charge is defined as electric field. Therefore, electric field is represented with E, which is represented given by arrow mark because it is directional, and that electric field is equal to electric force experienced by the test charge. And you can write this capital E is equal to F by Q, and this is very, very important formula. I can take this F as K capital Q, test charge is small q divided by R square. R is the separation between test charge and capital Q charge. Substituting that F over here, you can write E is equal to K capital Q small q divided by R square into Q. This Q gets cancelled. Finally left with K capital Q divided by R square. Therefore, electric field has formula E bar, which is a vector quantity, gives you K capital Q divided by R square. This is equation for electric field. This is equation for electric field. Very, very important concept. Students, we have learnt about electric field definition, and clearly E is equal to K capital Q divided by R square. E is inversely proportional to square of the separation between them. Say this as R1. Here you have EA. Field at this point A is EA. This distance is R2. Field at this position is EB. This distance is R3. Field at this position is EC. Now, clearly R1 less than R2 less than R3. E is inversely proportional to R square. Therefore, EA greater than EB greater than EC. As you are moving away from the positive charge plus Q, the field magnitude goes on decreases.